It took us 12 months and 3 days to look for her. Sadly, we never found her. Lucy was my best friend. In the year 2004, she went missing after being to school and never came back home again. Lucy's mother, the school rector, and myself went and reported this to the police, but unfortunately, until today, all the efforts to find Lucy proved abortive. This time, we were both 18 years old. We were freshman students in a college in Arizona. Well, after 1 year, I was inside my room in the school hostel to do my school assignments. All my roommates have left to attend classes, so I was the only one in the hostel room. So I opened Google to search for how to reduce human psychological stress, as I was a student of psychology in college. Surprisingly, a new window popped up and it said, "Get access to all the information you need right here." I was so happy, thinking that this isn't going to be stressful at all. I'm going to have all the necessary information I need to do my assignment. After this, another page came up saying, "Click here for final access." So I clicked. Then a website page came up. This page seemed very strange to me, as it had a lot of information about people who go missing every year around the world. I was shocked, but at the same time, I was really happy that I could find useful information regarding my friend Lucy. As I was exploring and digging deeper, I came across some links which took me even deeper. The links were really hard to find on the website. The URL was not blue to let you know that it was a link and would take you to another website, but it caught my attention as the paragraph's font was much smaller than the other paragraphs and it was surrounded with pictures. I copied and pasted the link into a new page, and it came up with a login page. The user ID, your name, and the password, your date of birth. It was strange and I was really confused by this, but I also really wanted to know what it was, so I entered my details. After a while, I got access to the site. It took ages to load, but it had this sign at the top saying, "Login successful." So I knew I was going to see something I probably didn't want to see. And then it happened. All the countries around came up, and then I clicked on America, and I really wish I'd never clicked. But I really, more so, wanted to know if I could find information about my friend Lucy. It came up with those people's names who had just disappeared but were captured, and thousands of videos. It was horrific and disturbing, highly graphic, as the hands and legs were cut off before killing them. I couldn't help but think of all the parents of these people who didn't know what happened to their kids. Oh, it was heart-wrenching. I kept on scrolling and scrolling, and as I scrolled, I came across free access to a video of the execution of people who've gone missing. Before I knew it, I was shocked and shaking in fear as I watched the video clip of how my friend was killed. Her trout was cut and hung up till death. I was so afraid I was crying for her. I clicked the back button to leave the page, but a small red alert window popped up in the right, in the corner of the window, and it said, "Mia, you are next." I was shivering in panic, so I shut down the system. I immediately called the police to report this. Unfortunately, there's no way I could tell Lucy's mom about this. How would she feel seeing the video of her daughter getting killed miserably? A few weeks later, I got a response from the police informing me that this website has since been shut down.
When I was younger, my friends and I would use the Ouija board to fool around and play with. We started getting cold spots. We decided to see what would happen if we put something in them. we put a lit candle in them. The candle blew sideways. Knowing now this probably wasn't a fake, I decided to ask it a question to confirm it was indeed true. What was the name of the cruise ship I went on when I was 8? I was shocked to find out that it actually knew the name. But this is when it begins to get scary. We were asking the board how long we had to live. My friends got 50 or 60 plus years of life to live. I went up to the board and asked it the same question. It said 10. I asked if it meant 10 years. It said 10 days. At this point, I shit a brick and turned as white as a ghost. We proceeded to ask the spirit how I was going to die. It said I was going to be killed in a car crash by a girl named Emma. We ended the session, and I went home. I was really scared. I wanted to see if it was a one-time thing, so I decided to go back to my friend's house 3 days later. I drove to my friend's house, and we set up the board. We asked the same question. This time, it said I had 7 days left. This made me even more frightened, and I decided to check it out again 2 days later. We used the boat again. It said I had 5 days left. I go home. I begin carrying a Bible and a huge cross with me everywhere I go. I was so afraid I would die. That was something I didn't want to happen. I was way too young. Because of that fear, I decided I should tell my dad about what happened. At first, he didn't believe me. I went on and on, but he thought it was a ploy for me to get out of school. I began desperately thinking of ways to prove what I was saying was true. I made a homemade Ouija board out of a piece of paper and a CD. It worked, and my dad was creeped out. He said I didn't have to go to school the day I was supposed to die. I didn't go to school that day. Nothing happened. That board saved my life. Without it, I may be telling this story from a Ouija board right now. A day later, I had heard of a teenager who died in a car crash right outside my house. Her name was Emma.